Hello and welcome to what's new in Microsoft 365 and Copilot for June 2024. Before we get started, remember that you can use all of these social channels to keep up. Just do a search for Super Simple 365. This month we have got updates with Copilot, Outlook, SharePoint, Stream, Teams and a few from around Microsoft 365. If something catches your eye, go and have a look at the blog. Go to the notes part of the video and I'll put a link in there and you can go and read all about it. But let's get straight into it. We have got our first update for Copilot. So first of all, we have improvements to time-based Copilot responses in Teams, chat and channels. So look at the screen here. You can see on the left hand side, we've got this first image. This is how it currently is. You can see that the time date's a little bit messy, isn't it? Compare that over to the right hand side, it's much neater. It's not including the minutes and the hours, and it just looks a bit better. Also, it's going back a bit further as well. So I think that is quite a nice little update and should be here by mid-July. Next up, we have got a new catch-up tab that's coming to Copilot, M365 and Teams. So you can see here on the Copilot screen on the right, we've got this option here to catch up, and it's just going to help you just see what's around you. I kind of think this is complementary to the feed. If you go into your browser and 365 at work, you go to the feed, that helps you keep up. The option at the top, Discover, that helps you keep up as well. And then you've got this too. If you've got a Copilot license, you get this carousel of cards. You can click on them, and it'll just help you keep up with what's going on around you. Super useful if you've been away, or like me, you work part-time in organisations and you kind of drop in and you want to see what's happened over the last few days or so. I think this is going to be just part of your toolkit for doing that. Okay, so over to Outlook. And pretty much as always, the main updates are for Outlook Online and new Outlook. So what do we have? So we've got these new filters at the top here. So I do a search in, let's say, Outlook Web, and I've got these filters at the top. You can see there, it might be that I do a search, I click on Teams and it's showing me results from my chat messages from people. This folks is due by mid-September. I think this is useful. You know, sometimes you know that you've seen something and you don't know who sent it to you or when they sent it to you or how they sent it to you, and you're like, is it an email, is it a chat? So I think this is a nice addition to Outlook Online, and there's another reason why, even if your organisation is still on the old version of Outlook, it's definitely worth you checking out the new features. So what do we have? Improvement to suggested times for meetings. So look on the screen here, you can see it's just got this nice find the time section in the middle. It's meant to be more intuitive. Folks, that's due early to late July. Maybe another reason to use the browser version of Outlook. So I personally, when I think about Outlook, I've got to be honest, I use the old classic version of Outlook. I just think it's more feature rich. I've been using it forever and I'm sort of used to it. But think about those features I've just shown you then. The ability to follow a meeting. So that's in the browser version. The ability to set up a meeting as an in-person meeting, manage your work hours and location. So there's definitely a case for using both of them for me personally. Okay, let's go on to SharePoint. And we've got quite a bit in here. So this new file viewer for 365 brings updates to looking at non-Microsoft or non-Office files that you've got in your OneDrive or your SharePoint. So it now supports over 300 file types and includes this dark mode, the background and command bar. Let's have a closer look at this. So you can see here, so you got these controls in the middle, and you got your stuff in the top left, and you can go forward and back as well. So I think that's useful if you've got files in OneDrive or SharePoint that have been difficult to view, or you've had to fully open in the app. Go check that out. The file viewer has had a bit of TLC. Okay, so we're getting this new pane now for people who create pages. So let's have a look. Let's scroll in just a little bit. Top right hand corner, look at this, I've got these three icons up here, and this one I've got selected at the moment is the toolbox option. And what do we get? We've got a section here for our web parts, for images and design, and our section templates. So what I could do is that I could I could have my main page on one side. I open this, and maybe I found the web part that I want, so I can just drag it across into the area on the left hand side where I'm working. So that's quite interesting. Might be easy to miss, so look out for it, folks. Look out for these little tiny icons in the top right, and you should have them by late August. Okay, this is quite a biggie, isn't it? Collaborating with SharePoint pages and news pages with colleagues. Look at the page here. Right, instead of waiting for someone to check the page in, you can all work on this at the same time. For those of you who create pages on a regular basis and collaborate with people, you'll know that this is actually quite a pretty big update. So multiple people can edit at the same time. We can be chatting on a meeting, doing our little sections, so that looks awesome and should be here by late August. Okay, the ability to apply shapes to images, to images on SharePoint pages. So this probably isn't a great example of how to do it. It's just very basically showing you the options that you've got. So this is available now. So I'll click on an image, and I've got these shapes that I can apply over the top. So I am not exactly Mr. Creative. So if I were to use this, it would probably look as basic as what you see on the screen now, but I'm sure you folk could do something gorgeous with this. That is available now. Enhancements to the text web part. So what do we have on here? So we've got new bullet styles, so that looks quite nice. So we've got new expanded font options, that looks quite nice. But for me, the biggie over here is the new numbering options, especially the option to explicitly start a new list or start your list at, and you choose the number. If you've ever tried to do a guide with steps, you go step 1, step 2, or I need an image or some notes here, step 3, but it goes back to step 1, then you'll know how useful this is going to be. When I've shown people this is super popular. Available by late July. I personally have it anywhere I look, but it might be late July for you. The title area is getting rebranded, the banner web part. So you can see here, what have we got? So the title section kind of functioned different to the rest of the page, didn't it? It had like this standalone way of doing things. It had certain limitations, but it's just going to become another web part called banner. So you've got options on the right hand side here. So look at this. We've got quite a few options like fade, overlap, and you can choose a few things around it. Interestingly, you can have no banner if you want to just get straight into your content. It might be that it's, I don't know, you got like an index page or whatever that feeds maybe off another page, so people know what they're looking at, and they click on the button, and then you want to go straight into the content. So maybe useful for that. Or you could have multiple banners. I'd be interested to see in the workplace how that manifests itself in a way that looks good. So you can have multiple banners down the page. Folks, should be here by late July. Okay, so now on to Stream. So you know that I've been talking a long time about two pieces of functionality. The ability to put in a quiz or a form. Maybe at the start of a video you want to say what's your level of understanding of this, and at the end of your tutorial what's your level of understanding now, so that you can show a curve hopefully. Also the ability to have callouts. So maybe you do a video for roundups for what's new in Microsoft 365 Teams for an organisation, and on a video you want to put a link so the person wants to read more, learn more, discuss it, ask a question, they can jump off into Teams where you, off the top of my head, maybe I've got all these things listed out for them. Then I think that'd be super useful, right? Now, this new bit of functionality is suggestions for these files. So of course the graph knows what you work on, who you work with, what you're putting into here, and you might find it does a good job of suggesting the files that you want to add to your video stream. So that should be here by mid-July, so any day now, folks. What else do we have going on to Teams? Some really good stuff in Teams this month. So Microsoft Teams to automatically detect and hide inactive channels. So I believe, I should know this, shouldn't I? I believe it's 45 days of you not engaging in a channel and it qualifies for inactive. If that's not correct, please go to the comments and just share what it is. I don't mind being corrected if I've got that wrong. So you're going to see this banner. It's going to say we're hiding some channels for you. If you choose to say you want to view what these changes are, then you can see over here on the right hand side, and you can decide what you want to keep, what you don't want to keep, and then click done when you're done. If you look at this and you're horrified, you can go to your settings and themes and you can turn this off if you want to. That should be here mid-August to mid-September. What else do we have? Enhanced contextual info and search for Teams chat. So you might recognize this. So see this this icon here that puts the right hand panel in and out. You'll be familiar with that from your channels, right? And you'd have this sort of information. Now this is coming to your chats. So here I'm going to have this new panel that pops in and out. Nice and easy to search. Of course, right now you can press Control and F, use that shortcut to search, but it's a bit clunky, isn't it? Well, this new panel makes that even easier. You can see who's in the chat, you can see what's been pinned, what's been shared. So I think this is a super update to Teams chat. Oops, when is that going to come out? That's coming out mid to late September. You might recognize this as well. So you used to have this in old Teams and now it's coming back to new Teams. So you can maybe read that post where someone says it's their birthday and they're going to bring in the donuts for the whole team and you wish them happy birthday, but without sounding rude, you don't want to listen to 25,000 people say happy birthday as well, so you want to turn those notifications off. Well, you can do that. Click on the ellipsis, turn off those notifications, and you should have that any day now. So it's scheduled for mid-July, so that should be out anytime when you're watching this. Okay, so you might not even have noticed this. So if someone creates a meeting in Outlook and they have an attachment that they put on it, then you couldn't see that in Teams. Well, no more, folks. Look at this. This is allegedly a meeting that was created in Outlook, and now you can see those attachments inside Teams. So you couldn't do that before, which you may or may not noticed, but folks, that should be sorted by mid-July. Okay. This is quite a nice update. So in your Teams chats, the Files tab is going to be rebranded Shared. So what we've got here? So we've got this new this new Shared tab. We've got Recent, we've got Files, we've got Links. So it's making it easier to find what you want in a chat. So sometime after the rollout, it will have image previews for the links, so at a glance you can see whether they're applicable to you, keyword searching, and images, videos, GIFs. So think about a group chat that you've had going for some time and you're trying to find a thing and you kind of zoom up and down and trying to find it. Well, look at this. So you're going to come to Shared, and depending on the type of thing you're looking for, you should be able to find it super quickly. That, I think, is quite a nice little update. Well, it's not a little update, I think that's quite a big deal actually, and I do like that. So should be here by late July. Okay, so does anybody else have to go to a meeting week in, week out, and maybe it's not how do we put this to be polite, it doesn't need your full attention, but you expect it to go? Well, look at this. This you might recognize this. This is it's very similar to the window you see, the presenter window that got updated. So it used to be this little block, didn't it? Now it used to show one feed. Now it shows multiple people, and it shows your feed. It shows what's being shown. Now that window is now being brought over to you as a viewer, not a presenter, but a viewer of a meeting. If you minimize the main window, so you'll have this. So it might be that you've got to sort of pay attention. But you want to get some actual work done. But this will just keep you kind of, if someone calls you out or does something or says something or someone puts their hand up who you normally engage with, you can see this maybe on your other screen, and you're not trying to find where your Teams is and trying to click on it and get it to open up and then engage. This will be sitting there ready for you. You come on and off mute, put your camera on super quickly. Quite useful. So mid-July to late August. Okay, so new sound notification controls. So in Teams, the controls that you have for your notifications are there, but if you go and look now, you've only got a couple of these options, and it's very limited what you get. So if you go and have a look at it after the update rolls out, you'll see that there's 4 tick boxes here for you to control rather than the existing 2, but also you can choose what sounds you hear, And you've got some options here for standard, urgent, and priority notifications. You can fine tune the sounds that you get as well. Go and play with that, folks. I think that's I'm not sure how much I'd use it personally. I'm quite happy with the way things are, but it might be that you're missing something, or you just need something to be changed, and you'll be able to do that by late July. Intelligent message translation in Teams chat. I'm so pleased this didn't go to Teams Premium. So in Teams chat, if you are working across an international organisation, it might be you're in a group chat, and what goes into that isn't in your first language. So when you go to your settings, look at the lower image here. So above here is when you go to settings will be where you set your language. But then we can say we want to translate translate messages into this language. In my case, it would be English. Do I want to auto translate the messages in other languages? Maybe I do, but never translate these certain languages that maybe I'm comfortable with. So you've got a few choices there, folks. But this is available. Yeah, it's available now. Go and check it out if you haven't already. If you work internationally, or you work in a company where their language isn't your first language, you might find this super useful. So this is for chat in Teams. Go check that out. What else do we have? And this is quite a big deal, I think. Huge deal. A new Teams onboarding experience. So you know when you go into the I'm a Teams owner, and I go into a channel. So I go to my team, go into manage team, click on the channels. I'm trying to remember the steps as I go along, so that's a bit clunky. And then you go into there, and you can say you can say the channels that you want to show. So for example, I might show my M365 channel that is like a one-stop shop for the whole of 365, social, well-being, onboarding. So I might show those things initially. Of course, people can override them, but I might show those. Anyway, that's going away. It's being replaced with recommended channels. So let's just zoom in a little bit. So this person has joined the team. The only channel they will see is the general channel. Okay, let that sink in a bit. So the only channel they'll see is the general channel, but they will see the channels that you recommend, and then they can join them or not join them. I think the combination of this, with the combination of people not having too many channels when they start, and those auto hiding the channels, is going to make Teams less visually cluttered. The updates that relate to being able to turn off notifications are going to make it less noisy. I think it's going to be easier with a few of these updates combined. It's going to be easier to focus on what matters to you. I think put together, I think this is quite so as an 8-week period of time. I think this is quite a big step if you combine a few of these updates. Folks, should be here by late July. Almost there. I try to keep these short. I have this not terrible, but I have this dilemma between speaking nice and slowly so that people whose first language isn't English can understand what I'm saying. But also not spending too long over this update, because they can be quite long, right? So I have this update this conflict between rushing through it and then tripping over my words sometimes, or speaking too quickly for you, and it not taking too long. So hopefully I get it about right for you. Actually, if I don't, go and read hop over to the blog, and you can read it in your own time. So let's see what we got from around 365. So I saw this the other day. So I was talking to somebody about, in fact, I was talking her through the steps of how to embed. So what did I want to show? They wanted to show the availability for courses. We just wanted a quick and dirty way of spinning up a way to show people what was available, and for them to request a seat. So we just super quick. We got a longer term thing, but super fast. They just had it in Excel. So we wanted it in Excel. We wanted this to show on a SharePoint page. It's appear on there, so they can update it in Teams. This Excel spreadsheet, and it appears on a SharePoint page, and there's a button there for booking. So we're doing this real quick. and I was talking her through it, and I was just rewinding myself on my computer, my steps, and then she had this other view. So this is already appearing for people who aren't on any early rings. So this is already appearing. So it's nice and clean. Look how much nicer this file experience looks. But you just need to make sure you're aware of it, because you're going to get some users that click it and they're like, where's my stuff gone? Or you get someone like me who's talking someone through something, and you go through the steps and the person sees something totally different to you. Anyway, so Word, Excel, PowerPoint, you're getting this new file experience. It looks really nice. It might just take a second to go and review it and get used to it. And a slightly easier way for renaming your files. Okay, good. Due early August to early October. I saw it last week for somebody who's not on any early ring. So make sure your users are aware of that. I promise I did. Anyway, start of the month. What's it going to be? For those of you who know me in person, right, you're going to be surprised that I've chosen a sensible one. But this, I think, is just brilliant. So the ability to set expiration for all links that you share. So instead of this gazillion links that just gets created, and there's no end date on them, and just over time, people have got access to all this stuff and all these files, and you keep sharing more files, and there's more people. It's just huge, right? But look at this. So, people in my organisation or individuals that I'm choosing, I'm going to get the date. I'm going to get the ability to set an expiration date on the link that I'm sending out. At a glance here, you can see that it's copied. It's going to tell me at a glance. I can hover over it. It will tell me when it expires. Folks, I in my head, I can't. I might be wrong, but just for a lot of stuff, I can just see this being like the default thing that your people should do. I'm not a compliance person. I'm more about the exploitation of 365. So if I'm talking nonsense about this should be the default, then you do your thing, right? Because it's not my day job. But I just think this looks amazing for someone. If any of us just want to keep our access to our stuff nice and tidy, I think this looks awesome. Folks, should be here by mid-July. That, I think, if I was going to share anything with my team, there's lots of quality of life stuff this month. An unusually useful month, I think. But I think this is the one that we should share just to keep things tidy. Just get in the habit of doing this. Keep your estate tidy. Folks, that's it. We are done. Go and check out the notes. Go and have a look at the blog. Go and share that with your colleagues at work, so they can just whiz through, see what matters to them. Hopefully that was helpful. I guess I'll catch you next month.